Hello and welcome to the Daily Fantasy 5 for this Monday, July 8th. This is episode 138, and we are, as always, bringing you the 5 things you need to know every day in the world of fantasy sports. My name is Scott Grierson. I am at Math Radio on Twitter, and I am the host of this show. We are going to be bringing you a lot of news today, as we also welcome in quarterback week in our fantasy football coverage. So we do have a baseball story to cover. We're going to talk about a trade that went down, adding some players to the interesting Dallas Mavericks. I also have another Westbrook trade, another reason why the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs this year. And then we're going to cover my bottom four quarterbacks 16 through 20 in fantasy football this year. So a lot to get to today. Let's start with a word from our sponsor, www.mathradio.com, where you can pick up an online math course for your child ages 7 through 17 for as little as $9.99. Help your child get higher grades in school, score better on exams, and even get into college with courses on mathradio.com. We can help you from anywhere from third grade all the way up through high school. So check it out, mathradio.com, for an online math course for as little as $9.99. Okay, let's get baseball out of the way first. The Angels catcher, Jonathan Lucroy, had a major collision yesterday. He was carted off the field. He will be out for a while. He's having a CT scan today to see if there is a if he fractured a bone in his nose. So he could have a broken nose. He could have a concussion. He'll be out for a while, I would imagine. He's not batting all that well this year, 237 with 7 home runs on the season. So you'd like to see that average a little bit higher if you're Jonathan Lucroy. Okay, so the Dallas Mavericks acquired Devin Wright yesterday. So that gives them kind of a glut of players at the point guard and shooting guard position. They've got Courtney Lee, Seth Curry, Deron Wright, who we just talked about, Hardaway Jr., and Brunson, who was a nice little rookie last year. So that's essentially 5 guys playing the point guard / shooting guard position. So I think it's interesting what they're doing here, acquiring all those pieces. I would bet that Mark Cuban wants to get a third piece to go along with Porzingis and the rookie sensation, oh, my goodness. Now I can't remember his name. The rookie sensation out of Dallas is Luka Doncic. So who would be a good fit with Porzingis and Doncic? Well, I think the Washington Wizards have someone named Bradley Beal who would be a very nice fit alongside those guys. The Mavericks have given up some of their future draft picks. They could give up a couple more. You've seen this offseason, no draft pick is safe. They've got young pieces like Jackson, Seth Curry, Brunson, all those guys they could throw in on a trade. And they got salary filler with guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., Courtney Lee, who could make the money work as well. So I think Washington will have to consider trading Bradley Beal at some point. It could be an interesting move for the Mavericks. All right, and that would kind of jump them from, the contenders to the, or not from the people who are trying to get into the playoffs into the contender group. Because let's go over this whole my Lakers not making the playoffs theory once again here today. We have, let's see, as locks. All right, let's go over the locks first. I have the Denver Nuggets as a lock. I have Houston. I have the Clippers. I have the Portland Trail Blazers and the Utah Jazz, all as locks to make the playoffs this season. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Then in this second group, I have the aforementioned LA Lakers. I have the Spurs. I have the Sacramento Kings, who made the playoffs last year. New Orleans, who should be fantastic this year. I love the addition of J.J. Redick. And then I have the previously mentioned Dallas Mavericks. Also in this group of playoff contenders, there's 6 groups playing for the final 3 slots, 6, 7, and 8. Minnesota, if they make a trade, Oklahoma City, if they don't make a trade, could both be in there fighting for those playoff spots. So I think at best, the Lakers have a 50-50 shot to make it in because, again, Anthony Davis doesn't play every game. And LeBron James certainly should not be playing every game. So if they play, half their games together, that's 28 wins. If they play 30 games where only one of them is playing, that's 15. If they play 12 games where neither of them are playing, that's 2 wins. I have a total of 45 wins. In the West, that might not be good enough to make the playoffs. That's my pitch, why the Lakers might not make the playoffs this year. Okay. Speaking of all that, the Mavericks, I was talking about them making a trade. They also have a trade exception, and they're 2,300 under the cap space, but I believe that's before the right deal, so they're about $14 million under the cap right now. Okay, here is my possible Westbrook trade of the day. I feel like everybody's making up a Westbrook trade, so I wanted to get in on the fun here. So Russell Westbrook, He's getting paid $38.5 million this year, so it's a lot of money. I'm going to send him to Minnesota. All right, the Timberwolves, they wanted to get who did they want to get? Not Anthony Davis, but they wanted to get the point guard who just got sent to the Golden State Warriors, Russell. Right? They lost out on him, so why not Russell Westbrook? It makes a lot of sense. Pair him with Wiggins, who stinks, but whatever, and Karl Anthony Towns. You're already all in on Wiggins and Towns anyway, so why not add more money and just have your team be those three guys? It's kind of your big three in Minnesota. I think it could be a fun team, basically like what they had with Butler. What was that, 2 seasons ago now? Could be an interesting team. So here's the trade. I would be sending Oklahoma City Jeff Teague, who has 1 more year on his contract at $19 million. Gorgie Dang, who has 2 years at about $60 million apiece. That's the only contract that really hurts. Josh Okogie is a second-year player on a rookie contract, so there's a little bit of value there. And Robert Covington, he's got 3 years left on his deal, but each year is only at about $12 million. So I think that's a good value and actually a good player that you want to hold on to if you're Oklahoma City as they rebuild. So you might have to throw in a draft pick, but I don't think Russell Westbrook really is all that valuable at this point. The money gets off the books quicker, and that's what you like to see if you're Oklahoma City Thunder. You might be able to move somebody like Jeff Teague at the trade deadline, if possible, to a contender who needs a point guard. So for all those reasons, I think Oklahoma City would be willing to get rid of Westbrook for those players and maybe a pick. And I think Minnesota just needs to do something, or else, what is the point of having him out there? It works on the trade machine, so I like that trade. Again, I would have Russell Westbrook going to the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City picking up kind of a poo-poo platter, Josh Okogie, Robert Covington, Gorgie Jang, Jeff Teague, and a first-round pick. Okay, so that's my trade of the day. Now let's get to quarterback week. We're going to be talking fantasy football quarterbacks here. I've revamped my list. We're doing quarterbacks, I'm sorry, not 16 through 20, but 17 through 20 today. We're going to start with number 20. Someone I dropped down on my list, that is Dak Prescott. I don't trust Dak or the Dallas Cowboys in particular. However, somehow he finished last year as the number 10 fantasy quarterback. And he's also never missed a game in his career, so I like that as well. He threw under 8 interceptions and added 6 rushing touchdowns. So I guess he is, kind of a safe. I think he has a low ceiling, but maybe he has a higher floor than I give him credit for. But at this point, he's going as pick 110 as QB 12. He's owned in 76% of leagues. If you've been following the show at all, I'm not drafting quarterback that early. It just doesn't seem like a useful pick at that point. I want to grab, another wide receiver or running back, and I'll take one of the other guys that falls to me in the 14th round. Thank you very much. No to Dak Prescott. Okay, maybe in a 2 quarterback league, I would take him, but I don't know. Not really going to be my guy. At number 19, I have Matthew Stafford. He finished last year as number 20 overall quarterback. He never, ever misses a game. He's played every single game for the last 8 seasons. Now, he doesn't play very well, but the Lions quarterback at least is reliable to be out there every single week, and that does have value. The reason I have him slotted so high here at number 19 is that I think in a 2-quarterback league, I think Stafford will be a good value, and he will always be out there starting. He doesn't have the injury risk that a lot of these other quarterbacks have. So in a 2-quarterback league, I like Matthew Stafford a lot. He would very likely be my quarterback number 2. Okay, number 18 on my list is Kirk Cousins. He finished 13th last year. It seems about right for Kirk. I've got him rated a lot lower at number 18 just because I don't see his weapons getting any better. He basically has the same team coming back, and I think they're going to want to lean even more on their defense and lean more on the running game. They've got Dalvin Cook coming back. They've got the rookie coming in. I think they're going to try to run the ball a lot. I think that'll limit Kirk's opportunities, and I'm not going to be drafting Kirk Cousins very often. He is being drafted as quarterback number 20, so it seems like most people agree with me. He's only owned in 25% of leagues. However, Kirk Cousins is relatively healthy, so if you want to take him as a QB2, I guess that's fine. He's not going to be my QB1 in any league. All right, so here's where I differ from a lot of people. I didn't even have him in my top 20 on my first go-around. I have Ben Roethlisberger as number 3 on my list. So I'm super nervous about Big Ben. He loses his best wide receiver, and there's really no way he can survive another season where he throws 675 passes. I don't care how tough he is. That's just too many passes. He's going to get hit too many times, and he's going to have an injury. The guy is not a 25-year-old quarterback anymore. He's 37 years old. This is going to be his 16th NFL season. So he just can't take that much punishment back there to throw the ball that many times. So obviously his volume is going to go down, And then without Antonio Brown to throw the ball to, I think the quality of his receivers obviously goes down as well. So he's just not going to have as much productivity this year. So he's being drafted around QB 10. That's not around pick 100. Certainly too high for me. He's not going to end up on any of my teams. He has been out there. I've seen him go later than 100. I think he's really falling off. But man, he would have to drop way down for me to draft Big Ben at this point. So Big Ben not on my team this year. So that's the end of the top 20. I'm not going to go through my sleepers today. We'll go through those on Saturday. Tomorrow we'll be back with picks. 13, 14, 15, and 16 on my quarterback list. We'll talk some more about why the Lakers won't make the playoffs. We'll bring up any other fantasy news that we have for you as well. So please check out www.mathradio.com. If you're listening to the podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and a review. And if you're watching the show on YouTube, we would love to get a subscription. Hit that red button, tell a friend, leave us a comment or question below. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.